H. Jackson Brown Jr. once said, if you need to bring in a business partner, make sure your partner brings along some money. Keep this in mind as we discuss today the Sino-Iran Comprehensive Strategic Partnership Agreement that just been signed recently. My name is Dr. David Oualaalou.
And my name is Dr. Ross Stewart.
And you are watching Geopolitics in Conflict.
David, as we highlighted 7 months ago in one of our shows, there is now the signing of the Sino-Iranian partnership. And the implications of this are just outrageous. You know, it's been in the works for 5 years, and they signed it last week. What do you make of all this?
Well, you're absolutely correct, Ross. We did address this one about 7 months ago when we did the video about, at that time, there were just talks between Iran and China. And back then we said, give it a few more months and this will translate into an official partnership. And that's exactly what just happened. Well, basically what it means, and this one has to do with economic and trade between Iran and China. Basically, the agreement is about 25 years in which China is going to provide assistance, economic assistance, and all other aspects which we're going to detail in return for discounted oil from Iran for the next 25 years.
You know, this is a real game changer for the Middle East. How do you see that?
Well, it is indeed. This one has on two fronts, Ross, on geopolitical level and on economic level.
Right.
You know, on geopolitical level, is going to change the dynamics within the political landscape in the Middle East. Given now the United States and Iran are butting heads over the JCPOA, the Iran nuclear deal, which, by the way, Iran is refusing to allow the United States to rejoin the talks. But also on economic aspects, because China is going to be investing about $400 billion into the Iranian economy. And given the sanctions on both countries by the US, it makes perfect a partnership between the two.
It's almost, well, it's not almost, they are forced into this position. The Iranian economy is in shambles as a result of the sanctions. And this really opens the door for their economy to do a robust recovery. $400 billion over this course of this contract, or this agreement. Huge.
Well, it is indeed, Ross, because the sanctions have been hitting the Iranian citizens very, very hard. And now this agreement will open up a door. Now, there are some analysts that have argued that this might not be this rosy, all of it for the Iranians. Well, at least it's providing an outlet, economic outlet for Iran to at least start to have some ability to sell its oil, the economy revamp, and so forth. China is going to provide that. Because mind you, just for you to know what this agreement consists of, it will consist of 4 main sectors in which China is going to invest in Iran. Well, we're talking about energy. We're talking about infrastructure. We're talking about technical assistance.
And we're talking about a real financial game changer.
Oh, that one, Ross, which has not been reported in detail here in the United States, is that Iran and China is going to establish a joint bank together. And you and I know what it means.
The US dollar is not going to be the reserve currency in this exchange.
Exactly.
It's going to be their own separate bank.
Exactly, because all the import and exports of Iran will be conducted in the Chinese currency, the yuan. So you can just see where this is going. And given now how some countries are rushing into dumping the US dollar altogether, given what's going on in the American economy, this makes perfect sense. So China strategically thinking in terms of, hey, if we're gonna build this partnership with the Iranians, we may as well dump the dollar altogether and conduct the transactions in the Chinese currency.
You know, there's something very interesting that is being neglected here. That is military assistance. And what we see from China is that they have trade agreements of some greater or lesser degree with every darn country that produces oil in the Middle East, including Israel.
Exactly, and there is a reason for that, Ross, is because China's demand of energy will keep growing. There are those who are saying, yes, with the green energy and electric cars, which China's market is opening up to that with the company NEO, that's the company in China. But still, China's demand for energy will keep growing. And what China wants to do is it does not want to depend only on one source. It wants to have diversification as to its energy resources.
It also inspires those countries in the Middle East to turn a blind eye to some of the things that go on in China, also to stay on somewhat friendly terms because it's good for their business.
Well, actually, given my own research that I've been doing on China, since I'm in the process of writing a book about China, interesting enough, is that one of the key strategies to their foreign policy is to never side with one party. In other words, they can do business with Iran, and they still can do business with Saudi Arabia. So they never favor one or another, unlike the United States. And this is where the failure of the American foreign policy. So China is learning from that, or has learned from it. And this is why, for example, when the United States decided to invade Iraq, for example, China didn't say a word. They did mention, based on some research that I conducted, that they weren't open up to that kind of ventures from the US, but it's like, hey, you want to get involved in this, you entangle yourself, good luck. That's exactly, and that strategy has helped them out. And this is why, if you notice, this agreement between Iran and China happens only about 4 or 5 days after the US-China talks in Alaska.
And we know how well those talks went.
That is correct. And one of the things that interests me more about this, it has to do with the energy sector.
Yeah.
It's because, as you and I know, Iran is an OPEC member, but also Iran can produce natural gas. Well, given the United States' intentions of imposing sanctions on Germany for the Nord Stream 2 pipeline,
right,
China was thinking, if the US is going to be sanctioning Germany on this, there's already tensions with Iran, between the US and Iran, and to China it made perfect sense. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. And that's why, from a strategic perspective, this deal makes more sense for both Iran and China.
You know, there is a conclusion to this. We see that the digital yuan is going to have more and more in play. We're also going to see energy prices go up. We're going to see commodity prices go up. So expect it as a result of this deal.
And one of the things, if I may just add this one, Ross, it has to do with Iran, a role Iran's going to play in BRI, the Belt and Road Initiative. Because Iran,
they're the gateway.
Exactly. Iran is the gateway between Central Asia, between Asia, Middle East, and even Europe to a degree. So you can just see China is thinking about it long term. And this agreement will coincide with about 2041 or so, which is the time where China is supposed to complete the BRI. Usually this stated the official time is 2049, but Iran's going to play a major role into this BRI, and that is one of the reasons why they decided to go to
This
that.
agreement is so comprehensive and so complicated. We're going to do future shows on this to show the importance of this particular agreement. So again, the bottom line is, based on this agreement and the changing complexion of the Middle East, we're going to see rising prices in the energy sector and probably rising prices in commodities. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Also, be sure to check out our other videos. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching.
And as always, stay informed. Till next time. Bye-bye.